Okay, so we're now on to the last side, and we're just got to be a bit more careful here because we want the both sides of this to meet up. So as you come around to the edge, just keep an eye on where the lines are on both ends. And just join them together. Don't need to be too precise, but this toolcake's quite forgiving in the design. In that, yeah, this cake's quite forgiving, as any little mistakes or lines that don't look quite right can actually add to the effect, and we get a slightly more authentic looking older style book, or in this case a photo album. Little crooked lines, and make it look a bit more worn and aged a bit more natural. You can use tools that have multiple blades on them, for example, and you could go around and do it that way, but you just wouldn't get the uneven look, if pages haven't been turned, for example. So I much prefer to do it this way. It takes a little bit longer, but it's definitely worth it at the end. Just make sure you join the pages all the way around, like so. Almost there now. Got 4 or 5 more lines to do. You can see how the turntable is quite useful because I'm not having to move myself. I'm just with one hand doing the knife and then turning the turntable as I need to. And it just speeds the whole process up a little bit. And that's about it. So, we'll take a little look. We can see we've now got the pages of our book around the outside. And next we'll move on to add in a ribbon or a bookmark down the middle. which will cover up our seam. This book, where the spine of the book would be, I just want to remove those indentations a little bit. Just a little bit either side of the centre of the book, or the photo album in this case, like so. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So as you can see, the fondant's still soft enough that we can gently rub it to get rid of any marks that we don't want. And sometimes, as you make your cakes, you don't really know what it's going to look like, or it's not that easy to plan out everything in detail up front. So sometimes you just have to go with the flow a little bit and make little changes as you go along. Okay, so the next bit we're going to do is the ribbon down the middle. So I'm just going to cut this edge straight, and this is going to be quite a thin strip here. We're sticking with the red because this is a ruby red anniversary cake, so we just want to keep the colours in line with the theme a little bit, but we don't want the ribbon too thick. So as we did before, just guiding down the edge. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight, as you get it looking like it's the same thickness roughly all the way along. And then obviously this is fairly thin, and if we just move to the cake a little bit, and I'll lower the cake down just so you can see what I'm doing. So what we've got here is the back of the cake, and we've got our ribbon, and I'm just going to very carefully tuck that like so, and take it along the seam a bit. And then we'll drop it down the other side. At this stage it's a little bit twisted, so I'm just going to very carefully untwist it, like so. And we can add a little bit of water. In fact, it's already stuck quite well there. But what we can do is just down the middle here. Won't need very much at all. As it dries it will stick anyway, but this is just to hold it in place. Turn it round to the front. Now with the ribbon, we don't want to go all the way to the bottom, so I'm just going to trim it off like so, and then we'll just leave it a little loose like so. So it looks like ribbon down the centre of a book. And what we might do, just very carefully, with our marzipan knife, is just put a little faint line so that we get the centre of the book. Down the middle. Then we can just very carefully just move that slightly to one side. Just very carefully rub that in a little bit just to close that gap up a little bit, and then it looks just a little bit more natural, like a book. Okay, so we'll go with that. We'll just put a little bit more water in there, just to stick that down now we've moved it a little bit. Like so. And then just the last little bit of water down the front there. Like so.